All right, let's get right into it. For the past couple of years, all the talk has been about AI that can chat. But we're about to hit a massive inflection point. The year 2026 is where everything changes. It's what many are calling the agentic pivot, the moment the market stops paying for AI conversation and starts paying for AI execution. This is the year AI stops talking about the work and actually starts doing it. So, here's how we're going to break down this huge shift. First, we'll cover why the age of the simple chatbot is coming to a close. Then we'll dig into what it really means for an AI to be an agent that can act. We'll look at the whole ecosystem of these agents working together, the absolute beast of an infrastructure needed to power them, the supercritical challenge of governing them, and finally, what all this means for, us, the humans. Okay, first up, the end of conversation. The new mandate, the new mission for AI in the enterprise isn't about spitting out clever text anymore. It's about generating real, tangible outcomes. And the difference is just night and day. Think about it. A chatbot is totally reactive. It's basically a tool sitting in a box waiting for you to come along and give it a command. But agentic AI, it's proactive. It's constantly observing, looking for signals in the data, identifying opportunities, and then kicking off complex actions all on its own. And here's the real kicker. When a chatbot fails, it's on you to write a better prompt. When an agent hits a roadblock, it's designed to debug itself, retry, and find another path to get the job done. Now, this shift didn't just pop up out of nowhere. You can see this clear evolution. 2024, that was the awakening. Everyone was just playing around with LLMs, trying to figure out what they could do. 2025 has been the acceleration, plugging that tech into workflows to get a little more productive. But 2026, the agentic pivot, that's a whole different ballgame. The goal isn't just to make your current processes a bit faster, it's to completely reinvent your entire business model from the ground up. So, if the new goal is execution, what does it actually look like for an agent to act? Well, that takes us from simple back-and-forth conversation to incredibly complex end-to-end orchestration. Here's the formal definition, but let's break it down. The two words that matter most are autonomy and goal-directed. This isn't an AI just following a rigid script. It's about giving an AI a mission, a goal, and it then has the independence to figure out the best way to get there, making its own decisions, planning its own steps, and adapting on the fly when things go wrong. And this is the perfect real-world example of what that means. So step one, there's a signal. A product starts flying off the shelves in one city. A simple AI might just send you an alert, but an agent reasons. It sees the demand surge here and connects it to a pileup of inventory somewhere else. Then it acts. It automatically shifts ad money and tweaks the pricing. And finally, it executes. It plugs directly into the logistics system to get that stock moving and tells the marketing system to spin up new creative. All of that happens in seconds. No meetings, no emails, just pure coordinated action. I mean, this quote from IBM just nails the scale of this thing. Just let it sink in. All the apps you click through every day, your Salesforce, your VRP, they basically become the back-end plumbing. The agent becomes the new front end. It becomes the orchestration layer that pulls all the levers behind the scenes. Your job is no longer clicking the buttons in the software. Your job is to direct the agent that controls the software. So, the next logical question is, how on earth do you build something this powerful? Well, let me tell you, the idea of creating one single genius AI that does everything, that idea is completely dead. The future is all about building a multi-agent ecosystem. Instead of a single AI, companies are building entire teams of specialized software agents. Seriously, think of it like hiring a project team. You have your orchestration agents acting as the project managers. You have domain-specific agents who are your subject matter experts. Then you have practitioner agents who are the specialists actually doing the work. And maybe most importantly, you have QA and compliance agents whose only job is to watch everything, check for mistakes, and make sure all the rules are being followed. They all work in concert, passing data back and forth to pull off these massive workflows. Okay, so how do all these different agents actually talk to each other without it becoming total chaos? The answer is standardized protocols. We're seeing things emerge like the Model Context Protocol, MCP, and agent-to-agent communication, or A2A. What they're doing is creating a sort of agent internet, a common language they can all speak. A lot of people are calling this the microservices moment for AI. We're breaking down these huge, clunky AI models into small, specialized, and nimble services that can all work together. Now, this all sounds amazing, but it leads us to a gigantic problem: the infrastructure reckoning. If you're going to hire an entire workforce made of silicon, you first have to build them an office and a power grid big enough to support them. $50 billion. That is not a typo. That's how much money Oracle is looking to raise just to build out its AI cloud infrastructure. This isn't a minor upgrade. A number this big is a massive signal flare about the insane level of investment it's going to take to build the data centers and networks powerful enough for these agents to run 24/7. And here's the crazy economics behind that investment. Check out this paradox. The actual cost for one unit of AI work, what we call a token, is plummeting. It's getting cheaper and cheaper. But because agent usage is absolutely exploding, these things are making millions of recursive calls all day and night, the overall AI spending for companies is just soaring into the stratosphere. This is forcing a complete rethink of financial operations to manage these new massive bills. And honestly, money is just one piece of the puzzle. The bigger problem for most companies, your old tech just can't keep up. These legacy systems with their slow, clunky data pipelines are a total bottleneck. Agents need clean, real-time data to make smart moves. In fact, Gartner's predicting that over 40% of these agentic AI projects are going to fail for this exact reason. The agents are smart enough, but they can't operate on top of broken, undocumented, human-driven processes. So this explosion in scale and cost points us directly to what might be the single biggest challenge of them all. How do you govern an autonomous workforce? The old safety net of having a human in the loop is tearing apart, and we're entering a phase where, in many cases, the AI is essentially in charge. Let's be real. The human-in-the-loop idea was a nice comfort blanket when we were just doing small pilot projects. But at enterprise scale, it's a complete illusion. There is no manager, no team of people on Earth who can meaningfully review the thousands or even millions of tiny decisions an agent workforce makes every single day. It's just not possible. And that reality is forcing a major shift from manual spot checks to fully automated AI-powered governance. So what does that actually look like? Well, it looks like a brand new, dedicated governance stack. You start at the bottom. Every single agent needs a verifiable digital identity. Then you build registries, which act as a master list of all approved agents and the tools they're allowed to touch. A policy engine acts like a real-time firewall, blocking unauthorized actions before they happen. Then you have observability, constantly monitoring for weird behavior or runaway costs. And only then, at the very top, do you design for human orchestration, clear strategic paths to escalate the really big, high-stakes decisions to a person. This quote just perfectly sums up the new reality. For the last 50 years, governance has been about one question. Did the software do exactly what we told it to do? But with agents, that question is irrelevant. The new question is, given the situation, did the agent make the right judgment call? We're shifting from policing code to evaluating decisions, and that is a profound, fundamental change in how we have to think about risk and accountability. And this brings us to the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle. What does all of this mean for us, for people? It means we're in the middle of a massive redefinition of human work, pivoting us all away from doing and toward designing. So let's start with this number from McKinsey, and it's a bit of a shock to the system. 44%. That's how much work in the US could potentially be done by AI agents with the technology that we have right now. This isn't some far-off sci-fi prediction. This is a statement about today's capabilities. But listen, this does not mean 44% of people are about to be out of a job. It means their jobs are going to fundamentally transform. Our value is rapidly shifting away from performing manual tasks. Instead, we are becoming the architects of these new agentic systems. We're the designers. We're the strategists who handle the weird, complex problems the agents can't solve. We are the leaders who set the goals, define the boundaries, and establish the ethical guardrails for our new silicon-based workforce. And one of the key technical breakthroughs making this all possible now is that we're finally solving AI's memory problem. You know how early chatbots felt like they had the memory of a goldfish? They'd forget the beginning of a conversation by the time they got to the end? Well, new architectures are giving agents what's called extended episodic memory. It's a persistent memory that allows them to track a complex, multi-step job from start to finish, learning and adapting the whole way through. So as we wrap this up, it really all boils down to one single critical question that every business leader needs to be asking themselves right now. Are you just trying to build slightly better automation for the way you already do things? Or are you getting ready to design, hire, and manage an entirely new kind of workforce? Because the answer to that question is going to define who wins and who gets left behind in the next decade.